Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Christian, and the goal of this channel is simple. It's to give you guys the daily gospel in tiny bite-sized videos like this one. So if all that sounds good to you, consider subscribing and let's get into this. All right, we are back with the Matthew chapter 10 trend. We're going to start with verse 16 today. We ended off on verse 15 last time, so let's go. Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils and flog you in their synagogues, and you will be dragged before governors and kings for my sake, to bear testimony before them and the Gentiles. When they deliver you up, do not be anxious about how you are to speak or what you are to say, for what you are to say will be given to you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and the father his child. And children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who endures till the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly, I say to you, you will not have gone through all of the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. We're going to start right off with verse 16 here when he talks about sending the disciples out as sheep among wolves. And the same can be said about us in the current day and age as well. We also are being sent out as sheep amongst wolves. And the first thing that Christ says to us right after this is that we must be gentle, innocent as doves, and wise as serpents. We need both the wisdom and the innocence. We can't just have one and not the other. You know, I think a lot of the time, especially in this day and age, especially on the internet, we kind of like to bombard people across the head with facts and logic and truths. And we kind of do all of that without having any charity at all. Or we go to the other extreme where we have all of the gentleness, the innocence, the charity, the love, without really getting into those deep conversations of what truth really is. And what Christ is telling us is you need both. You need the truth, and you also need the humility and the gentleness, the charity. I can't remember what saint said this, but it's absolutely true that we need to proclaim the truth in charity. Wisdom and innocence are like two lungs. They both need each other. We need both lungs to breathe in and to breathe out the Holy Spirit that will speak and act through us. If we only have one of these lungs, we drastically stifle the Holy Spirit's abilities within us, and we drastically reduce our effectiveness in our evangelization. So be wise as serpents and gentle as doves, because that is exactly what Christ was like, and we're called to imitate him in every way. And right after verse 16, he talks about how we must beware of men, for they will deliver us up to councils and flog you in their synagogues. Essentially, we will be persecuted for what we believe in. We will be persecuted for the message that we are spreading to these nations of ours that are around us and inside the nations that we're in. That was the weirdest way to explain it, Christian. So Christ ensures us that we will be persecuted, we will be mocked, we will be made fun of, and we should take heart in knowing that Jesus knew that this was going to happen. And so in the next verse, he literally tells us, do not be anxious about how you are to speak or what you are to say, for what you are to say will be given to you in that hour of persecution. So in our imperfect but necessary endeavors of spreading the gospel, evangelizing to the nations, it's important to not rest our confidence on ourselves, but instead give all of our confidence in the Holy Spirit that is going to work in us, and probably not in a perfect way, right? We're always going to be struggling with ourselves and our ability to either speak with brevity, speak with courage, but it doesn't mean that the Holy Spirit can't use you. In fact, I think it's in our imperfections that the Holy Spirit works the greatest. And so don't let your imperfection stop you from spreading the gospels. Don't let the gospel, don't let your fear of being persecuted or mocked or made fun of stop you from at least making an attempt. Because at the end of the day, the Holy Spirit's going to meet you wherever you're at. And in time, you're going to get used to the mockery. You're going to get used to that kind of persecution, and it's going to impact you less and less. So if you're afraid of letting your voice be heard, that's okay. Understand that it's not always going to be that way, and you kind of have to work through the beginning struggles before it gets comfortable. But once it does get comfortable, it opens up an entire world for you and opens up so many different avenues in how the Lord can use you. So be not anxious about what you are to say. Do not be anxious on how the Lord will use you. Just know that he will, and rest assured he will use you exactly where you are. Let's move on to verse 21. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and the father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. So Christ did come to establish his one true universal church, united as one, but he also came to divide. He came to divide families and households. He came to call people to a kingdom that is not of this world. And in doing so, there is going to be division, because by being called to another kingdom, we're being called to a different way of life. We're being called to be set apart. And to be set apart means that we live by different standards. We live by different laws, sort of, in a way, right? You're still going to get pulled over and get a speeding ticket for speeding, and that's still wrong. That's still a sin. But we're called to a different ethical law. We're called to different laws of ethics, a different moral law, the law of God. And by virtue of it being the law of God, we will be hated for that law. And that literally brings us to the next verse. You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who endures to the end will be saved. And that is the key there. We are called to maintain the law of God, to live out the law of God in our daily lives. And then when we get mocked, when we get persecuted, hated for living up to that standard that God has for us, calls us to, all we need to do is persevere until the end, and then we will be saved and we will achieve that perfect happiness. So live up to God's standards, live up to God's law, loving God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and loving our neighbors as ourselves. So stand for the truth, live for the truth, and when we suffer because of it, persevere, because we will achieve our reward in heaven. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this little video, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more tiny bite-sized gospel videos like this one. Simply just to give you guys a little bit of joy in this crazy internet world, pseudo world that we live in. So I hope these videos are edifying to you. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I am praying for you. I hope you're praying for me. I need it. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face on you and be gracious unto you. And may he give you the strength and boldness and courage to draw yourself closer to him in every aspect of your life. And I will see you in the next video. Peace and God bless, gang.